Are live and welcome. Hello, everybody. We are live and welcome to Pandemic Parenting, parenting in a time of unrest and uncertainty. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, but I'm here to introduce my wonderful co host. This is Glozell. Now, I'm sure you recognize Glozell. She is an author, a comedian, an influencer. She was just in Vanity Fair. And if she looks familiar, you saw Glozell interviewing President Barack Obama in the White House in 2016. You'll recognize her voice because you heard it on Wreck-It Ralph and on the wonderful new movie Trolls. Please help me welcome my guest and my co-host, Glozell.
Yay! Thank you so much. Lisa, you are an amazing hypnotherapist, and just listening to your voice as you're introducing me, I'm like, yes, so soothing. Lisa Mackenberg, she is amazing. She's a hypnotherapist to the stars. Her nickname is Hypno Mom. She is an instructor at HMI College, parenting teacher and coach at, I want to have it right, GOM, Malibu. Yes.
You got it, Glozell.
Yes. And you've seen her on so many shows, to include the Steve Harvey Show and so many shows on Bravo. I am so honored to be a co-host with you, Lisa. Yay, everyone, welcome Lisa.
Yep, pandemic parenting. So you know what, Glozell? Let's talk about what are the challenges on parenting at this time. So first of all, I want to let you know that I have 3 children. My twin sons are 23, my daughter's 21, and of course, with the pandemic, everybody came home. So I have adults with an attitude living at my home, once again, adult children. And tell me about your family.
My family, we're going through an interesting time right now. I have a wonderful 3-year-old daughter. Her name is Ozell. And you see the picture here of my sister, Deonzel, and my daughter, Ozell. And I have an incredible boyfriend named Gus, who you've met, Lisa. We've been to your house.
You were over at my house. We had dinner at my house, yes.
Oh.
And so you know what? This is a very unique time in history. And there is a blessing and a curse. It goes like this. May you live in interesting times. So what do you think the main challenges are for parenting in a time of a pandemic and also unrest and uncertainty?
What parenting during the time of a pandemic and unrest and uncertainty, of course, the number one thing that comes up, I feel, is fear. You don't know what's happening. Every day is changing. Not only a pandemic, but it causes everybody to just be so irritated and fearful. I would say fear is definitely number one.
I would agree with you. I would say that here are the things that we're afraid of. Our safety, our physical safety,
Yes.
Our health, finances. My husband is furloughed. My practice is cut down by half. So we worry about our physical safety, our finances, the strength of our relationships, losing track with people that we used to have during our routines. We worry about the future. And I don't know about you.
Yes. Sorry. But, also being in the house with someone, your relationships are being tried. You know, either
really
bring you closer together or it's like, okay, we're not going to make it.
Hey, you ever hear that absence makes the heart grow fonder? How about being on top of each other 24/7?
Exactly right. It's fast forward my relationship with my boyfriend because all of a sudden now we can't go out anywhere. So there's that part of entertainment that's gone. So do we really like each other here? Or now we know.
With a boyfriend and a 3-year-old who has a ton of will and 0 common sense because they're 3.
that has been challenging because, like I said, every time you turn on the news, it seems like something's different and the numbers are changing. It's going up. First, they said no Black people are getting it, not only elderly and people who already have have a condition already as far as COVID as part of that part of the pandemic. And then that's changed. It's children. It's
Yeah.
white, it's black, it's Spanish, it's young, it's old, it's healthy.
You know, my husband is even though he's furloughed, he is a physician.
Yeah.
And he said, well, the only people who are going to get this is the jet setters, people who went skiing on the mountain in Switzerland and in Aspen, all like Tom Hanks, who's traveling the world, being famous
Ah.
and very, very rich. But then everything changed. And it's
Mhm.
people who ride the bus because they have to go to work.
Right.
People who go and work at fast food, people who work at CVS.
Mhm.
They are the essential workers. Then it became everybody was getting it. And not only is it in assisted living, but now it's in group home with our developmentally disabled friends and children. So
Right.
it's every place.
I
You
have
know,
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a friend who was dating a nurse, but now ended the relationship because it's like he doesn't want to catch anything. She's going out to different homes. She's going to the hospital and coming back. You know,
yes,
and what do you do as far as daycare help? You've got people who have kids at home, and now they're gonna come to your house and take care of your kid. Like it has just been fearful and unknown.
and you know, we were also talking about the unknown and then finances too. What happened to someone who had a fantastic job, but he or she cannot go to work, even though they want her at work because she has a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old who now don't go to school. Also, there are certain population where their children were getting a meal at breakfast and lunch at school, and now that they're home, and there's issues about food scarcity. And I also wanted to mention that being at home with our children, we're not only parents now, we also have to be their sports coaches, referee. If you have siblings, believe me, if you have siblings, you are a referee, a drill sergeant, a coach, a teacher, a school teacher, as well as trying to run your own life, your own responsibilities, and your own finances. How has that been for you?
And keep your mind, you know, straight, so because it has been challenging. I just know that I have to be extra patient, and my patience was already tuned up because my child went from a 2-parent home to a 1-parent home. So there was already the change, and then boom, now you can't go anywhere
Yes.
because her schedule stayed the same. So I was like, okay, she's cool. We're still going to the same schools. We're seeing the same people. We go to church. Her routine didn't change. And then all of a sudden that changed also. So her home life changed and everything changed. Her whole world changed.
Of course. So, you know, I would just thought about another challenge of parenting during this time. And that is, we talked about fear. We talked about having to have 50 different hats, but
Yeah.
also loss. We have loss of control. The government is telling us what we can do and what we can't do,
That's true.
where we can go, where we can't go. We have loss of our own personal time. My gosh, I was trying to take a nap the other day. My adult son needed pictures of the cat for a project he was working on. It's like he woke me up. I need pictures of the cat, my adult son. We have the loss of a routine that you were just saying, going to school, picking up, being with friends. Then when she was at school, I'll bet you were doing your work
Exactly.
alone, quiet.
Exactly. And it's just very interesting times,
Yes.
I can't wait till we look back and say, wow, we survived all that. But right now we're in it.
Well, you have to garden, you have to make pandemic bread. I thought that was the rule during a pandemic. You have to grow tomatoes
Yes.
and you have to borrow yeast from your neighbor and make pandemic.
I saw your tomatoes. Shout out to your tomatoes.
I have fantastic tomatoes.
Amazing.
You know, the research is my co-therapist, and you know that because I've talked to you that before. And do you know that stress, Glozell, is directly related to not feeling empowered or having control over your own life? So I'm going to ask our wonderful producer if you could put up the slide on solutions.
This is what we're all interested in.
Yeah.
Solutions.
We know the problems.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the solutions? So if you don't mind, I'm going to start.
Sure.
Did you know, Glozell, did you know that your child shall never do what you say, but shall always do what you do? So go ahead.
I do want to let you know that is true because I'm I consider myself, I thought more so of a dictator. Like, I am the older person. You do what I say. But she's quick to say, but you didn't do it.
That is so true. And if you want your kids to have emotional regulation or containment, you can't teach containment unless you have containment. So I'm going to give an exercise for everybody. An exercise. You want to remember, even though you're at home with your kids and everybody's screaming and everybody has a different schedule, you want to remember a time when you were the best of your adult self. Maybe when you were there at the White House with Barack Obama, maybe when I was teaching up at the college, maybe when you were working, maybe when you were in school, maybe when you were your friends, when you were the most amazing problem solver. Can everybody visualize that time when you were the best of your adult self? You know, there's 3 parts of the brain. There is the emotional part. That has no intelligence. It just has feelings.
Right.
Then we have the intellectual part, like Mr. Spock of the Starship Enterprise.
Yes.
But then we have the wise part, the part that transcends fear and ego. If you can think of yourself as a problem solver, the best of your adult self, breathe that in and bring it into the 4 corners of your home, then you can be what's called a transitional hero. You know, your culture and my culture, we have generational trauma. Do you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely agree that we all have transitional trauma. And the goal is to, there's a song called Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin With Me. So with trauma, let it end with me.
Wow. That is so wise. Yeah, because it's true. Yes, because if we acknowledge we have generational trauma, we can be transitional heroes and say, it's going to end here with me. I'm going to have containment. I'm going to have a peaceful, nonviolent home. I'm going to be the best of myself. And my children and my grandchildren are not going to have that experience because they're going to have a different experience. And that's going to be the new generational story going forward.
Right. It took a lot for me to go, okay, this is not working out. I don't know what you're doing. We need to make it, start the process of divorce. Let's do that. And that is, to me, stopping a tradition of, it's not working out. You stay together. You just stay together no matter what, and it's just not working out, and that's, oh well, but you still get to say you're married. But that's not good enough. I need Ozo to see healthy, happy relationship or mom happy.
That's a transitional hero. So she will not, especially as a daughter, she will not feel compelled to stay in an unhealthy relationship.
Exactly.
Because that's what mom did, that's what grandma did, that's what great grandma did. You don't stay in an unhealthy relationship just because it's what we do, that we suffer in silence. And as a transitional hero, especially you being an influencer, a comedian, an author, you're teaching her how to use your voice to make a difference and how to be seen and how to be heard.
What's the word again? Trans what?
Transitional hero.
I'm trans now. I've been trying. Yes, I am trans. That on my resume. Glozell is
transitional hero, not trans.
Yes.
One of these things is not like the other. No.
I'm sure people question anyway. I'm so tall, green lipstick. They're like, I think she's trans anyway. So yes, I am.
Yes. Hey, so Trey, if you could put up our next slide, I'm going to teach everybody an exercise about 3 magic words that will take this crazy, out of control world and put it directly under your control. How would you like that, Glozell, to put the entire world under your control?
Hypno mom, yes.
Yeah.
Are you hypnotizing us, by the way? That was a question from my friend. Are we being hypnotized just talking to you?
Absolutely. Every time it's called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. It's how to hypnotize someone just using your voice. After all, you did see the movie Get Out, didn't you?
Yes. Well, I would love to tell the story that.
Tell it.
quickly, the movie Get Out is about this wonderful white couple that is their therapist, and she has this tea, and she's stirring it, and the guy is being hypnotized.
That's
Okay,
right. She's a hypnotist and her husband is a surgeon. I am
just
a
like you.
hypnotist and my husband is a physician. So when you and your boyfriend came over, I was going to serve you tea.
He was so terrified. He's like, I go, do not mention that movie. Do not bring it up. And then you said, oh, would you like some tea? I thought he was going to die
I
right
know,
there.
it was right after dinner. I said, now it's time for tea.
He's like,
Uh,
he's
but
like,
you know what? It's been a very long time, Glozell, since I've stole someone's brain and put it into another person's body. So, you know, it's been weeks since I've done that.
what was interesting about that particular day was that the police had just came to my house, and I was someone or Ozil's father was saying that I abused her, and so you have all like just different times, you know, and it just confirmed that it was time, you know, that I needed to go because I didn't know who this person was anymore.
Yes.
And then we went over to your house. I'm like, no, your life still, you still have to go on. You know,
And
so
we
we
came to my house and we had dinner and we had the most beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And everybody who's watching is welcome over to my house. All 5 million of your followers, everybody's welcome.
It's a beautiful place. And I want to thank you for that day because it really uplifted that day. So you want to have good people in your life.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Trey. That is a scene from the movie Get Out. That's not me. That's the lady in the movie.
It really was kind of like you, though.
So, you know what? How would you like right now, Glozell, and for everybody who's watching, to get complete and total control over your life, even during this uncertain and out of control time?
I would love that, Lisa.
I need 3 magic words for you and for your family. The first one is awareness. With all these messages coming in, you're going into people who are home with their kids. We're all going into what's called unintentional trances. We become overloaded.
Yeah.
We either go down into the reptilian brain where we freeze and we just sit and watch Netflix or scroll. That's freezing, or we become very combative and we're mean to the people in our home. We're reactive. So you either
on Facebook, there's so much going on. People are just like, it's like,
yes,
we need to get out. We need some sun. We need to run around. But
that's right. So we become either stuck or reactive. That's the reptilian brain. Or we go into the mammalian brain, where we do what worked before. We eat lots of food that's full of sugar and fat and carbohydrate.
Do you have a camera at my house? Oh my goodness, that is so. I've never had so much cake and cookies and stuff in my house ever.
That's the mammalian brain. That's the part of the brain that says, "What soothed me last time?" And so we either sit there and shop on Amazon. Oh, it's only $20, or we eat, or we do substances. So we do things, or we sit there and scroll. So we do things that have short-term benefit and long-term harm. That's the mammalian brain. But do you know what part we need to be in, Glozell?
What part?
Our Homo sapien. We need to be in our frontal lobes. That's our human brain. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to teach you how to do it. So we want to stay into the reptilian, stay into the mammalian, go into the Homo sapien. That's not Neanderthals. That's Homo sapien. That's us.
So I'm trans Homo sapien. I love it.
Oh. Why be one? You can be it all.
I'm down with the community. That's great.
Me too. Long may we wave. The first thing is becoming aware that you're slipping into anger, fear, or sadness. 1, aware. And try this with me. Just put your hand on your heart and breathe in like your heart has a nose. Compassion for yourself, that this is what we're going through. Really deep breath. In on calm, out on safe. Because in this moment, isn't it true that you can be calm because you're safe? Another super deep breath. In on calm, out on safe. Compassion for yourself. You're stuck at home with a 3-year-old who wants to climb on your head.
Everywhere.
Compassion for my son who woke me up because he needed a picture of the cat for his chat group. Compassion for yourself. 3 different kids, 3 different ages. Each one is on a different screen and you can't get in for your business at work. You get really angry. Breathe in. Awareness of your emotion. Breathe in on calm. Exhale on safe. Now, what's the second magic word? Intention. And you said it. When you have an intention, you're 80% more likely to follow through. So your intention, which you just taught everybody, is to be patient, like you were with Barack.
Yes. Well, when you're like, oh, hey, they can shoot me at any minute. I better do exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, do you hear me?
Thank you. Fantastic. What a beautiful picture. So you want to now be patient. That's your intention. What other intentions can you have after you breathe calm into your heart?
I want to ask you about intention. Like, I'm the person that do meditation.
Yes.
And that's a good way to set your attention. It does make a difference when you haven't set your day, so to speak, set your day up of peace, because you don't know what you're going to look at when you go to your Facebook or your news or just going outside, just open the window. Like, you don't know what you're going to hear from the neighbors next door or those like, what's that noise? Because we live, I'm calling myself living in a quote unquote good neighborhood. Now we hear helicopters, we hear sirens all the time.
Yes.
We're learning to do our meditation to set our day and keep our day calm. So she's not scared when she hears these noises.
You're correct. You start your day after fueling yourself with yummy, delicious, nutritious food. You fuel yourself for peak performance. You need it now. And then you do that, you set, and you get very quiet, turn off all your screens, and you set that intention. And let's talk about 3 things. We want to always do it in 3s. 3s is a sacred number. So 1, I'm going to be patient. 2, I'm going to be flexible.
Yes.
And 3, I am not going to become suggestible to other people's negativity, personal problems, or hangups.
That's right.
Somebody, if you get in Facebook, someone has a different political idea as you, they're nuts. I mean, you can say great minds can differ. You don't have to argue with them. You know what? When you argue with someone on Facebook, you've already lost.
You already lost. The number one thing that people get upset with me about is that I don't get upset about what they're upset about.
That's right.
So I can have friends, or I can get along with people no matter what their belief system. Now, my friends a lot of times can't get along with each other because this person is so right-wing and that one's over here and this one is so religious and this one is so very fabulous. It's all over the place. Well, I'm a person that I can get along with anybody and people get upset that I am not upset at the people that they're upset with.
But what I love about you is you set the intention that great minds can differ.
That's right.
And that's an intention. And that you're no longer going to be affected by the negativity of the people who are upset with you because you're not upset. That's setting your intention.
And it comes from, you practice that because you can't go off the handle every time. Even if you feel like that person is wrong and you're right. What's the point? So you win a Facebook? What?
Again, you argue with people on Facebook, you're already lost. And with me being a hypnotherapist, people are sending me videos that COVID is because of the Illuminati, that the unrest is because of space aliens, especially reptilians, by the way. So I'm getting, and not that I'm making fun of all that. Look,
and the new iPhones, people saying the towers of
it's the 5G. It's 5G. But you know what? I don't make fun of any of that. You know why? In my religion, we believe that God speaks to us in the form of a burning bush. So you know what? That's my belief. All right.
I believe that. That's right. If you can use a burning bush or a big fish or a donkey.
Fish. That's right. A big fish.
Or a donkey. I'm just saying, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's okay with me. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So now we have our 2 magic words. Our first was awareness, becoming aware we're slipping into unintentional trances, becoming aware of sadness, fear, anger, breathing into our heart. 2, setting our intention, just like you said, to be flexible.
Yes.
To be patient. and to allow other people to own their own choices. But you know what the third magic word is? It's my favorite.
I would like to know, Lisa. Please tell.
It's attention. What you focus your attention to expands. So we don't want to focus our attention on what's going wrong. We want to focus our attention with our children. What are they doing right?
Amen.
What
Yes.
is going right in our day? What can we control? We can control what we eat. We can control, thank you, fantastic. We can control what we eat. We can control how we talk to the people that we love.
Yeah.
We can control whether we go out for a walk or watch another Netflix, or if we can't go out and walk, can we put on music and dance in our kitchen? Can we cook? Can we meditate? Can we do our deep breathing? So we want to draw our attention to this. Are you ready? Each and every day.
Each and every day.
In the last 24 hours, Glozell, what inspired you?
Oh, what inspired me? Well, I'm in the midst of my bed inspired me. I got a new bed.
You put
And
it together.
yes, and because I have a new bed, I have to move some things. So I'm inspired to also let go of some things. And that has been a great experience because there's been a time where I would just kind of let things kind of hang out and like I'll get to it. But my Ozell is like, I would like to eat on the table properly, Mom. I need this stuff gone.
I love her. So, what inspired you? What moved you? What surprised you? If we look at these three questions and we ask our family, even Ozell at 3, you can say what inspired you, and teach her what inspired me, what moved you, and what surprised you. And when we do this with our family members every single day, they are forced to turn their attention to what is going right, what is under their control. So, you know what, Trey, if you could put up the next slide, and we're going to have, I taught my lessons, and now we're going to have Glozell teach us all some lessons about pandemic parenting.
All right, pandemic parenting. I want to start off with for those who have young children at home. Okay. So when you have a young child at home and you're in a pandemic, that means we are kind of trapped at the house. Your patience has to go even further. Things that I did not let Ozell do, I can't get upset about because all of a sudden, like she's done the same things over and over again. Now she's expanding. I thought like, okay, you can't jump on the couch. Let me get you a trampoline. I get a trampoline. She's jumping on the couch still. I'm like, you know, the patience has got to rise. So you know what? I jump with her. You know, I'm
Got to jump with her because she won't do it. Yeah, she won't do what you say. She'll do what you do. And
right.
so I love it that you say, yes, jumping is a wonderful activity. Mommy's going to go jump on the trampoline.
Yes. And then she follows with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this song on the piano. Where there before I'm like, okay, now you need to go practice your piano. No. So I just go over there and I play, and now she's interested in what I'm doing. And that is a much easier way than me fighting with her to do things that I want her to do. So you've got to figure out the best way that you can communicate and still be calm and patient. And we're talking a 3-year-old who thinks she's grown. And a lot of times she's right. And I don't have a huge home. I have an apartment. So we also have to be, she's also have to learn patience also. Like, okay, you've jumped on my head 15 times. Mm-hmm. So let's stop. Let's let's do something else.
Yes. Fantastic. And so we want to be patient. We want to lead by example.
Yes.
And every time we give a no, we want to give a yes. No, we don't jump on mommy's head. Yes, we're going to jump on our trampoline.
No, she has told me plenty of times, like, Mom, you always say no. So I've worked on that. Can I have this piece of cake? Yes, at a different time. And that, so time.
This is my favorite parenting tool that you just talked about. And we should do it for ourselves too. It's called when, then. When, Mommy, can I have cake? Yes. When We have our yummy, delicious protein and our 3 different colors of fruits and vegetables, 3 different colors. Let's pick the colors. Then you can have cake. Mommy, can I jump on your head? Yes. Once we jump on our trampoline for 20 minutes,
Exactly
then
right.
if you're still interested, then you can jump on my head. So when we do, when can I watch YouTube? Yes.
Yep.
When you do your 2 hours of your schoolwork, then we can all relax and watch some silly YouTube videos.
So
Can I go on Glozell's YouTube channel? Yes, anytime, 24/7.
that word, no, because she was hearing it all the time. And then you also have to listen to whoever you have a relationship with. This is Ozell. She's 3. She's like, Mom, you always say no, 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 no. Okay, so I'm aware of that. I'm correcting that and working within the realms of what she understands.
When? Perfect.
Yes.
Good. So instead of no, it's when. All right. So, and then we have our next slide.
Yes.
You have a biological father, your ex-husband, but you're also in love. Can you teach people who are watching how to be a single parent in love?
That has been it's been great. And what is interesting is that a lot of people do want you to stay with the father. And you don't have to tell everybody all your business. So all they see is like a picture on Facebook where, I don't know what happened. You guys look so happy. And you're not posting everything. And so now here's this new person. And at first there was a little bit of backlash, but a part of me is like, well, you should trust that I'm making a great decision. And that's also coming from my mother, who it's like, I can't believe that, you're not with the father and there's somebody else in the picture. I didn't know Gus was going to enter so quickly, and he's great and amazing. And now he's, my sister's here. Has he won you over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's definitely loved, but it takes patience on your part because other people have not been in your former relationship and they feel like they're invested and they want to give you all your advice that you didn't ask for. So
can you teach us how to introduce our child to our new romantic partner?
That was very interesting how that happened. He actually picked us up from the airport. And my thought was like, no, don't pick us up from the airport because now you're meeting all my family at one time. But then I'm like, well, that's good. You're meeting all my family at one time in a public setting. And we kept it like that for a little while. And of course, she's 3 and it hasn't been that long. So they have not been alone together, but we keep it different activities. We color. He's built her a castle. So she's seeing different activities that's geared towards her. So she's included. And she sees him more than she sees her father. So we really definitely work on that relationship. And
I have a question for you, because it hasn't been in my experience. Can the new romantic partner be a disciplinarian to your child or your children? What's your advice on that, Glozell?
I was sitting back and I was wondering what his take was going to be to see what kind of person, what kind of man Gus is, because he's got 3 grown kids. He has 2 grandkids. And I didn't know if he was going to be the type that's going to be more so like, well, that's your kid. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. Or I'm the father when I'm here. I'm the male figure when I'm here. And he's taking the role of I'm the father when I'm here. I'm the male person. And he does not like Ozell, be careful, you jump there and that's not good. So he's actually, since he's been a parent and been a parent longer, he's teaching me also. And he does definitely have the patience for a 3-year-old, because that's what I need to know, because he's older than myself. Do you have the discipline, the patience for a 3-year-old female? And he does. So far, it's been great.
So you know what? I think that that's excellent. That is a very, very personal decision, whether our romantic partner is going to be just a friend and a playmate, or also a disciplinarian, but we do know that both people have to be on board. We
Yes.
have to back, if we are going to let a romantic partner also parent our children, we have to support them 100%, because
Exactly right.
children will sit there. If they see any discord at all, they'll play one against the other. You know, as I teach everybody how to do, can we have our slide for self-hypnosis to be the parent you've always wanted to be? Glozell, with your permission, so we can teach this to everybody who's watching. Will you do the exercise with me?
Yes. Are you about to get out me right now?
Yeah, really. There's a little T. Yeah. And I've decided to put your brain into a different body. Okay, so here we go. So first, to do self-hypnosis is very easy and it's extremely safe. And it always starts with making a SMART goal. That means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. And the T, Glozell, means always going towards, never going away from, always going towards. So what would be one intention or SMART goal for you to have a better parenting experience, to become the parent you've always wanted to be? And just pick one thing.
I want to be consistent.
Fantastic. Consistent. That is most excellent. And children thrive on it.
Yeah.
So Glozell picked consistent. You can pick patient. You can pick have emotional containment, or, you know, emotional regulation yourself. You can pick anything you want, or to feed yourself and your children in a way that fuels them. It can be anything, or take that walk once a day with your kids, or do a when and then. So everybody out there, pick one thing. Glozell has picked consistency. So you don't even have to close your eyes for this. This is how cool self-hypnosis is. All you need to do is, in your imagination, imagine a door. And you're looking in a door and you see you and Ozell, and you see that last time you were crazy inconsistent. Can you make that imagination?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you can. Take a look at what it looks like. Use your memory about what it sounded like, and get in touch with your feeling about how you felt and she felt, and the result when you were inconsistent with your kid. Can you get that memory?
I can, yes.
Now imagine or visualize closing that door. Open up a second door, Glozell, and picture yourself under the same situation, being consistent. She's yelling, she's screaming, she's demanding, she's jumping, she's crying, whatever she does to try to get you to for her to be in charge. Think about that. And now make an image of how you would choose to be consistent. And make an image of her yelling and screaming and crying and pleading and being adorable and trying to get herself in charge. But then make an image of you in that room, mom in charge, calm, patient, and consistent.
That's right.
Make an imagination of what it would look like. Make an imagination of what it would sound like, her voice and your voice. Make an imagination of how she will feel knowing mommy means what she says and says what she means.
That's right.
And make an imagination of how you would feel being consistent, being the parent you've always wanted to be. And when you do that, nod your head. Good. Now close that door. Now imagine or visualize, picture, or pretend Ozell is demanding that she's in charge. Now you have a choice of those two doors. You can choose the first door or the second door. Which door do you choose, Glozell?
My second door.
Open it up and walk inside. And there's no social distancing in hypnosis. Embrace the Glozell that is consistent, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's exhausting, even when you don't wanna. Embrace the wise Glozell that is patient, consistent, and flexible in every single parenting situation. And now take that Glozell and shrink her down so she's this big and stick her right between the conscious and subconscious mind. And any time in real life when Ozell is running and jumping and screaming and crying and being cute and adorable and demanding that she's the one in charge, halt and check in with wise Glozell from that second door and say, wise Glozell, what's the best way for me to be patient, consistent, and flexible? And she'll give you the answer. That wise Glozell has 100% of the resources that you will need to be the parent you've always wanted to be.
I love it.
Any
Yeah.
questions?
No, and it felt good. And I thought it was very interesting that you said that I opened the door and I embraced myself. I thought I was going to embrace Ozell, but that was really good that you've got to encourage yourself, love yourself, embrace yourself, because like that was like, oh yes, I need to hug myself.
Hey, you want to hear or see another fun one? It's really fast.
Okay.
Picture Ozell. Picture her with your whole mind, her beautiful eyes. Picture your youngest. Everybody out there, picture your youngest child, or all three of your kids, or all five of your kids. And with your whole heart, send that child or those children patience and courage and the ability to have self-esteem through mastery. Send that all to Ozell. Send that all to all of your children. Courage, patience, and self-esteem through mastery. Can you do that?
Yes.
Now, stop. Picture the bathroom mirror. Picture yourself, your dark hair, your dark eyes, your green lipstick. Picture yourself. And now send yourself patience, courage, and self-esteem through mastery. Was it easier to send it to your children or yourself?
It was, I found it easier to send it to her, but so that means that I'm definitely working on myself with my patience and my consistency. So
yeah, you can send it to your kids, but you got to send what you want for your kids. You got to want for yourself.
That's right.
Flexibility, strength, courage, and mastery.
Yes.
You know what, Glozell? We have time for questions.
Good.
Is there anybody in our waiting room who'd like to ask us some questions?
I have one right here.
Why don't we start with the one right there? Hi, Dianzel. One question for Glozell and one question for me. And everybody, please stay tuned because I have a bunch of gifts for everybody who's watching today. So stay tuned. After our question, I'll announce our gifts for everybody. So Dianzel, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so my first question, I guess, will be to my sister. And the question is, how did you explain the pandemic to Ozell?
Oh, okay. So how do I explain the pandemic to Ozell? All Ozell knows right now is we call it, there's a lockdown. And since there's a lockdown, there's things that we can't do that we used to do, and we'll get back to them. So we wear our mask, and it helps that everybody else is wearing a mask. It's not just us. And so there's certain places that we go, and now she's used to like, okay, when the lockdown is over, can I go to the park? Yes. When the lockdown is over, can I go to my friend's house? Yes. So she knows right now that's what it is, and no more than that. She doesn't know about anything heavier than
like people getting sick and
going
to the hospital.
Just like this is what we do, and it's lockdown, and that's all.
Yes, and I'm going to encourage everybody to just do a little research on your child's stage of development and make sure that just like Glozell, we tailor our answers to our child's stage of development. And did you know that children are tiny little magnifying glasses? They take your emotion and they magnify it and project it back to you. So we want to watch our fear, our sadness, our anger, because our children pick it up. So when we are calm, our children are calm. Did you have a question for me?
I did,
Bianca?
and it kind of piggybacks on what you said. We're just explaining. So being in this pandemic and everyone being in the same space for so long, when things get elevated to when people are angry, like especially like sometimes I keep Ozell by myself. It's just me and Ozell, and she gets upset about things, and I get upset that so there's no real time out position that she could be in. So what is a way for us to just like, okay, let's woo-saw, let's calm down, let's get her more so calm, because I can calm down, but sometimes it's harder for
I know.
her.
I know. You're doing it right. We would just, yeah, it's her. It's okay. No, I'm kidding. So what we want to do is we're going to do no words. We're going to do a hand signal. Are you ready? We're going to do a hand signal. When
Okay.
things are getting heated, remember that I said that we want to, awareness is the most important magic word. So let's say when you become aware that you're upset and Glozell's upset, you're upset, your sister's upset, we know that that's either anger or sadness or probably fear. The way that you signal to your sister, both of you, is you merely put your hand on your heart. Let's see you do it. And that signals that this is getting escalated and that the thing that we have 100% control over is how we talk to the people that we love. And you're going to imagine or visualize that your sister is Barack Obama or the dry cleaner or, the barista who's wearing a mask, who's making your chai latte over ice breve, 7 pumps of chai heated to 100 and 22 and a half degrees. And the same way that you are patient with Barack or your barista or your dry cleaning lady, this reminds you that you can say to your sister, D'Anzel, I'm really upset. You hurt me. And let me tell you why.
You hurt me. Let me tell you why.
Or Glozell, I'm really, really angry. And let me tell you why. Or I was afraid, or your fear. I want to help you with your fear, but I can't let your fear become my fear. So we want to halt, take that deep breath, and talk to each other the way that we would talk to Barack Obama. You could say to Barack, I'm upset by something that you did. You wouldn't say, you, so-and-so and so-and-so.
Right.
And tell Michelle too,
Yeah. You could start with, I have something on my mind. So that hand on the heart signals your sister that we need to take it down. Got it?
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Do we have anybody else who wants to come on in to our StreamYard and ask a question? Oh, hey, someone's coming in. Who's that? Go ahead and announce yourself. Is that Priscilla?
Hi, Lisa. Hi,
Who's out with you?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Who's with you?
I have my 3-year-old daughter. She's my youngest. Her name is Paisley.
Do you know that after the zombie apocalypse, that we can have maybe Ozell can have a play date with your daughter? They're both 3. They can go to the park or go to the beach. I want to come too, and I'm going to take pictures. All right. So, do you have a question for me and for Glozell?
Yes. I'll ask my first question to Glozell. Hi, Glozell. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
My question is, I'm also divorced. I have 3 children. I'm in a brand new relationship. I am also building my own practice from home. So how do I get that quality time with my guy? Because the kids love him, but it's hard to get that time away for just the 2 of us. Like, what's your advice on that?
Okay, that is very, very important because I'm like, I don't want to mess this up, right? This is good. And I'm like, oh my, the kids love it, but how many times can they play peekaboo or jump around? I'm like, okay. So, first of all, do you have anybody else that helps? Because my sister is around, so I'm like, okay, at least I get 2 days. Like, come over right now. But do you have someone and also a schedule? Okay, so at least we know like 8 o'clock, everybody's down, they're asleep. We don't have to, cartoons can go off. We could watch something more adult or, have a more adult conversation. I don't know. So a schedule definitely helps. And if there's someone else that does take them from time to time, I don't know if you have that, but definitely a schedule. So he knows like at 8 o'clock, okay, I only have to deal with so much until a certain amount of time of the day.
Excellent. Great. Do you have a question for me, Priscilla?
Yes, I have a question for you as well, Lisa. How are you?
Hi.
So my daughter, there's my daughter. So I'm a busy mom of 3, and I have a brand new practice, as you know. And I also have a hard time because I'm a new homeschooler. I've never done homeschooling with my kids before. So do you have any advice on how to keep us all organized? Because
yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we're going to go to Mark Twain, who said, eat your frogs first, which always cracks me up. So what we're going to do is we're going to wake up, we're going to make a yummy, delicious, nutritious breakfast, and then everybody's coming into a common area with his or her headphones on, where you can eyeball them, and they're going to do 2 hours of their coursework. And while they're doing it, you're going to do all your marketing, and you're going to work on your website, and you're going to watch some of your education, take your continuing education, so that they are going to eyeball that mommy is doing her schoolwork and I'm doing my schoolwork. And we're going to put it all on the common area. Your daughter, for those 2 hours, your little one, she can watch cartoons. It's okay. Or she can color, or she can learn that the bee goes like this, ba, ba. Or she can learn her shapes. And you're going to be there. It's all right for you to be interrupted. If anybody has a question about his or her schoolwork, you take your headphones off, you answer that question, and then everybody goes right back on. But after the 2 hours, everybody goes out and does PE. Everybody goes out. If we can go outside in an area, you can go outside. We're all going to go outside. If not, we're putting on music. All screens go down, and we're all dancing in the kitchen. And then we can have something yummy and delicious. And then everybody's on free time. If they want to sit there and play their game, their first person shooter games, or play their Legos, or do those interactive games with their friends on the video games live with their friends, they can, if they want to video chat with their friends. But we have to be productive for 2 hours. And you know what, Priscilla? That means you. So that means you. When everybody does their work, you're doing your work too. All right. And right now, if you did 2 hours of marketing or continuing ed every day, when your children were doing their schoolwork, would your practice be better or worse or exactly the same?
I think it would definitely be better. I mean, I usually do it right before bed, and I'm so tired by the time, because I'm like, everyone's asleep, I can do it, but it's like the worst timing because then my brain is.
Nope.
I mean, I'm already crazy, but it's even more crazy.
You do it when they do it. And I'm going to teach you your magic word. You have a power word. You ready? Your power word, and I'm going to snap, Glozell. Yeah. Your power word is the word trust. Trust that when they're interrupted by your 3 kids who are learning 3 different things, one's learning ABC, one's learning nuclear physics or organic chemistry, one of them's learning language arts, about the missions in California. Trust that when you get interrupted to see what a rectangle looks like different from a square, what is the square root of 9, or what was the first mission built in California? When you're interrupted, trust that you can get back and get back your concentration, because I want you to do your work when they're doing their work so that they are observing. Okay, thank you. Do we have anybody else in our waiting room? Anybody else in our waiting room? Well, we're waiting for our next person, I'm going to talk about the gifts that we have. Here are our, oh wait, here comes Cassie. And then I'll talk about the gifts. Hi, welcome, Cassie.
Hi.
For Glozell or for me?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
You sound like you're in the room with us.
Awesome. Great.
Oh, you are.
So, Lisa, I'm going to ask my question for you first. So, both my husband and I, we've been fortunate enough to be able to work from home during the pandemic. But both of our jobs are super busy from day to day. We have two little ones. One will be 1 year old in less than a week. But we also have a 3.5-year-old. And so he was used to going to preschool, but we're not sending him right now just because of the pandemic. So right now we're trying to watch over him and kind of keep him busy while we're, trying to get work done. And so I'm starting to feel really guilty because at this point in the pandemic, he's literally just watching train videos on YouTube for hours upon hours.
Thomas the Tank Truck. My son sleep with Thomas every night.
Right. Or he's literally doing that right now. And playing with his trains. And so I'm just starting to feel really guilty because I want him to have variety and do different things, but he honestly seems to be okay just watching and playing with his trains.
All right. You ready, Kathy? First of all, you're going to give yourself a lot of credit. You're keeping everybody happy and safe. I promise you, you're doing it right. I promise. You have a husband who's working from home. You're working from home, a 1.5-year-old, a 3-year-old. And I give you permission to do what works at this very unusual time. And so what I'm going to do is just make a tiny little adjustment. You ready? So what we're going to do is that you're going to take at least 20 minutes a day to sit on the floor and play trains with him. You're going to take him out, your husband, because he can learn this from his father, is get 20 minutes, take him out, and we're going to play a game. We're going to play I Spy during our walk. I spy with my little eye something that is yellow. And it's your son's turn because we have to work on the verbal skills. Children can lose some of their verbal skills when they're watching too many screens. Either you or your husband has to sit down. 20 minutes is all it takes, and do interactive play. This is my train. This is your train. Where are we going? Who are we going to meet? And we want to ask questions.
Wait, what do you
is outside, interactive. What do we see? What do we hear? I spy, I hear. But now the next thing is I'm going to now teach you how to raise your children's IQ. There's only one thing for research that shows that raises your child's IQ. First of all, genetics is a lot of it, but genetics is not the whole story. How would you like to raise both of your children's IQ? It takes 20 minutes a day. That's it. When you read to your children a book right above their level, it raises their IQ. So at 3.5, he is at his level is where's the ball, where's the mouse, where's the dog? No, you're going to read the picture books like the Berenstein Bear. So next one up. But this is what you're going to do. So let's say we're reading a story. I'll give you an example for a 3.5-year-old. It was Halloween. There was a house that had a lady with a big pointed hat, and she had a black cat. And Lucy and Bob had to decide, are they going to trick or treat at that house? Then you look at your son, whose name is?
Zeke.
You say to Zeke, Zeke, would you trick or treat at that house? Do you think that Bob and Lucy should trick or treat? What do you think the author's going to write to make an interesting story? And at 3.5, They are now learning about logical consequences.
Okay.
So when you're reading and you ask, what would you do? What would you do if you were the author? What do you think that they should do? At 3.5, this raises the IQ. Now at 5, you read the next higher story. At 9, when they can read, you read them Harry Potter or the Bible. So read to them the next level up with your 1.5-year-old. And everybody, there we go, face to face. The playing the hand game, singing songs, reading to her, your daughter. But other than that, can I?
Okay. I hope that my question is not as complex. I mean, that was such a good question and such a good answer. I'm like,
I know that's so helpful. Yeah, I'm gonna start that right after this. I'm gonna get on the floor and play my trains. So my question for you, Glozell, I want to know. You mentioned that that Ozell, you got her like a trampoline. So what are some other activities that you guys have been doing, indoor to keep her busy?
okay, so you have to get creative because I understand so much when you said Zeke is watching the screen so much because at first I was like, okay, it's only gonna be 2 weeks, whatever. But when we didn't go back after the 2 weeks, I was like, oh no. So I have some pipe cleaner. We're making things. Of course, she's like, I want to watch TV. All right, yes, you can after we do this. We
Okay.
over our music. We have a piano. Of course, nothing is as interesting as the TV. So I have to make sure we get those things done before we get a few minutes of TV. And then we take a break and we'll go back to the activity of trampoline. She likes to play in the water. So we have goggles. She plays in the tub.
Oh.
We have the bubble machine that you gave us is in the tub. So it makes that activity fun, and we find more things because she really likes the water. More water things in the tub. Also drawing. We have a chalk, so we do the chalk outside. That's when she's with me. We also have other households because she goes to my sister's house also. Oh, here she comes. Here you go.
So I'm a craftsmaster. So what I do, I get her to do a lot of different things. Like I'll cut up a lot of construction paper and let her glue them together and just see what she wants to create for herself. Also, she likes to play my guitar, so she strums that. And then I have a mic stand. She loves to sing, so I record her songs and let her hear them, and then she'll keep on with that. So she loves that. And then I have a little patio. So she wants me to make waterfalls out of different paint. And I just take the paint, water it down, and do little things so she can splash it all over the ground type thing. She just likes to do activities. So when she comes over, I have at least 3 things planned for her because I know that if I don't, then she will just sit and watch television. I don't allow her iPad to come over so that I can kind of control the day. You can only watch TV right before she goes to sleep at my house, which is around like 8:30. She'll watch for like an hour and then go to sleep. But the rest of the day, we have to do different things. She helps me cook and all that kind of stuff. So
awesome. I wish I could send my son over there with you.
once the pandemic is over, come on.
Right.
All right. So
oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Lisa and Glozell.
Thank you. All right. I have a gift for everybody before Katie asks her question. This is a gift for everybody. I have 3 things I'm going to start with. If anybody who is watching this broadcast today or at any time in the future, if you're having a hard time and you're having any kind of a financial concern, I have 50 interns up at HMI College who need hours. And you can have 6 sessions of hypnotherapy at absolutely no cost with an intern, a top intern at HMI College. All you need to do is send me a text and I'm going to, or an email, and I'm going to have my Trey put up my email or my text, and I will get you an intern immediately. So money should never be an object to getting hypnotherapy to learn how to be the parent you've always wanted to be. My second gift is if anybody would like to see an intern, to see a graduate of HMI College, both men and women in any language in the world, we have graduates who will see you for $79 for anyone who'd like to see a graduate of HMI College. And my last gift, if you'd like to have a consultation for 1 hour with Glozell or myself, it is $99 to come and see us. So the first one, if anyone's having a hard time, you can see an intern at absolutely no cost. You can see a graduate for $79 or our top experts, that's Glozell and me, for $99. All you need to do is send us a text or send us an email. We have time for one more question. Is there anybody in our waiting room?
We have 2 more people in our waiting room.
Oh, you know what? Is it okay, Glozell, if we go long?
I would love to. I would love to make sure we get everybody
is it okay if we go long? Yeah. Oh, wait. Well, we already saw Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla. I think we can go to Katie. Katie, do you have a question for me and Glozell?
Kind of for both of you. I really need help. So I don't have a toddler. I have 4 daughters. I've been on my own since 2006. I have 3 adult daughters at home right now and 1 teenager. And the teenager is the one that acts like the toddler. And at times the ones that are young adults are toddlers in their own right as well. And I'm really challenged with the teenager right now, who, and even the young adults, the rest of them, they don't seem to have any awareness of the pandemic or conscientiousness, I'm going to say. And so, they leave, they go out, they hang out with their friends, they're in groups, they come home, and I'm like, really? Did anybody wash their hands coming in?
Okay.
So there's
Katie, let me go ahead and take this one first.
Okay.
Say this out loud. Parents in charge. Let me hear you.
Parents in charge.
Let's all say it. Parents in charge.
charge.
And when you have adult children and teenagers living at home, you get to make the rules. We don't have to beat our children now that we can turn off the router. Am I right? Or am I right? Okay.
Yes.
And so what we want to do with our adult children is to say, when you wear your mask, then you can go out. You can have the car. You can have your car, especially if you're paying the insurance on it. And your phone, which I know that you're paying. You're probably on a friends and family package. When you wear a mask, then you may go out. When you come in, when easily automatic and habituated, when you come in, you have your hand sanitizer right at that front door. You come in and you sanitize your hands. And then you watch and you say, you know what? I don't care what you believe or don't believe. I don't care who you're listening to and who you're not listening to. The rule is not the rule in my house, not my rule. The rule like it came down from Mount Sinai. The rule is you live in my house, a mask when you go out, hand sanitizer when you come in, or else don't come home because mom is old. And you say, look, you're smarter than me, but I'm wiser than you only because I've lived longer. Mom is old. I'm old and decrepit. And so that is the rule. And with my children, I order everybody has to, because I have 3 adult children living at home. Well, one's coming, 2 are leaving. It's a longer story. And the rule is you wear your mask. The nanosecond you come home and my son's still working, my other son was out with friends, big groups of friends. You wear your mask. When you come home, you hand sanitize, you go into the shower, and then you're allowed to sit at my table. So, and you say it like this with a head nod. When you wear your mask and you sanitize your hands, then you are allowed to go out. Your turn.
All right. My thought is maybe you've been really lenient with them growing up, and now they're wonderful and nice, and you love them, but they're spoiled and they're not doing the thing that you say.
Totally.
So
what do I do?
now you have to speak their language. What's their language? Is the language money? Is it technology? Whatever it is gonna, make them do what you want them to do. And you want to make it easy. So if it's hand sanitizer all over your house, at least get that part done. Then that's what you need to do. If it's something that you put your feet on, or the mat that will kind of wash the feet, there's something that can sanitize the bottom of your shoes, whatever you need to do to make it easier on their regular routine, because now they're not going to all of a sudden listen to you.
True. And it's got to have teeth in it, Katie. And you can say, listen, you don't wear your mask, don't come home.
Yeah.
She's so sweet and kind. Yes. And she's all in her with a matching bear.
Yes. The rule. Okay. The rule.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Do we have one more person in our waiting room who's waiting to ask a question? Who else is in our waiting room? Anybody? We got Priscilla. Do we have one more person? Oh,
hey, ladies.
Trey. Yay.
Actually, Katie and Priscilla are the only two we have
right
at the moment.
Am I allowed to talk about my practice, Lisa?
Gus is waiting. Oh, excuse me. Gus is said waiting. Trey.
Go ahead. And Trey has a question. Trey, is Gus in the waiting room?
He sent me a thing saying that he's backstage. So
okay, let me find him. Let me find him.
I sent it to you, Trey.
Trey, do you want to ask your question while we're waiting for Gus?
You see what's over my shoulder? That's my 13-year-old son, Miles. Miles, wave to the people. There he is. With the pandemic, and we go outside and we take walks and we do things. But how do I get him off that thing?
Okay, I'll take it first. I will take it first. Again, I want to hear you say it too, Trey. Parents in charge. Let's all say it.
Parents in charge.
So I know we're coming up to the summer, and the summer's a little bit different, but you know what? He's probably still in school. Is he still having, no, okay. And does he have any summer school or any kind of a class?
Well, we usually send him to camp. All the camps are not operating right now.
So, you're ready, Trey? What you're going to do is you're going to sit down with him and you're going to find one class that you can take online, either in drawing or painting, in creative writing, anything he likes. It's nothing heavy. In social skills and cooking, in anything that he wants. It's something super fun, a drawing, a cartoon, even designing video games, a course on coding video games. And we're going to find one course for him on the summer. And we're going to do our when and then. And I know that you got work. So you're going to sit down. He's going to learn his class on coding. That's what I have sons. They love video games. My daughter now codes. She can write them. She can code them, how to do websites, anything he's interested in. And we do that when and then. But it starts with a yummy, delicious, nutritious meal. Then it goes to, we are productive because we want to feel self-esteem through what? Mastery. And if we play, I'm going to tell you something from research, Trey, and it was about a son, two sons. One was 13, one was 16. Are you ready for this story from research?
Yes.
A 13-year-old and a 16-year-old. They test the saliva to see if they have the chemical. It's called endorphins and oxytocin and dopamine. These are the happiness chemicals. Mm-hmm. And they had the 13-year-old and the 16-year-old. They did two activities. Once they mastered the brand new, I call it Steal My Car 3. It had a Grand Theft Auto, a beta version. No one had ever seen it before. And they had the two boys play it. Then they took them outside with their father and their uncle to build 1/4 of a fence to keep their dogs in. Now, they didn't get the whole thing done, just 1/4 of it. Where do you think there was more? Take a prediction. You as an adult, Trey, where was there more happiness chemicals? Endorphins, oxytocin, dopamine. Was it building a fence with the father and the uncle, 1/4 of a fence? Or was it mastering Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's got to be building the fence.
Yes.
My dad was a mechanic, and he kept us out of trouble by, having his boys down there pretending like they knew what the heck they were doing when we didn't.
Okay.
So using your hands is very, very
and
achievable.
Being with your father and your uncle. Now they asked the boys, they said, we'll get more dopamine playing the new game that no one else has ever seen. But they were wrong, proving that adults are smarter than teenagers. So when he sits and he builds his websites and he designs a game and he learns how to code and he has delayed gratification and has self-esteem through mastery, it's a challenge, and yet he's able to master it. This raises the dopamine. So you're going to lead by example and say, son, 2 hours to be productive. Then we go outside and whatever sport you like to play. My husband and son play basketball and tennis. They're there right now. That's why they're not home. They're out playing tennis. You play an activity with him. You can bring a friend. Just wash the friend down, and then you can play with a friend too outside. The beach, basketball, tennis. Being outside is very, very safe. My husband's a physician, I know. And then he can come in and he can play the damn game for the rest of the day. But at least he's having 2 hours of productivity and an outside activity. And then he can play his game and you can get some work done. Glozell, your turn.
I want to know, Trey, do you play the games with him?
I used to, and actually it's my fault that he's so into video games. When he was born in Seattle, I was heavily into video games. I really don't play anymore. I got too much other stuff going on. But every once in a while, that game he's playing now, I forget what it's called. It's like a little fighting game. We'll play that together. But Miles, son, did you hear Miss Lisa? You got to get off that thing in 2 hours or after 2 hours. So I'm going to take your advice.
Okay, great. Do we have somebody else waiting for us?
Well, Gus has been there from the beginning.
Where's Gus?
I'm not seeing him, unfortunately.
I'm Gus. I've transformed.
Did you see what I sent you? Because he's got a screen that says I'm backstage. I've been texting that to you. I don't know if you see it.
It's possible he's in the other room that we created. Remember? But
can you resend him I guess?
If I had his email address, I'd be happy to. Can you forward me his email address and I'll send it to him?
Okay, send it again. I sent it with his questions. After it was like, okay. What's your? Sorry, your email.
It's all right. This is our first one. So again, while we're doing that, I want to make my announcements. If anybody who is watching needs to talk to a hypnotherapist, if you're having a hard time during the pandemic or in these times of uncertainty, please send me an email or send me a text. I'm going to give my information right now. I'm Lisa R. Mackenberg at me.com. That's Lisa R. Mackenberg at me.com. LISARMACHENBERG at me.com. Or you can call me. I answer my own phone. 310-259-2524. Send me a text at 310-259-2524. And I will get you in for 6 sessions with our wonderful interns at HMI College, absolutely no cost. So you can learn about hypersuggestibility, how to not go into unintentional trances, have someone to talk to who has the one thing you'll never have, and that is objectivity. You'll never have it. So there's all my information. You can take a screenshot of that. If you want to talk to Glozell, you can also talk to me. I'll get your information. You can also text me. I'll get your information right over to Glozell. And you can talk to someone at no cost and talk about your parenting challenges. You don't even have to be a parent. If anyone's having a hard time, please feel free to send me a text or send me an email. If anyone wants to talk to a graduate of HMI College, it's only $79. Just put a text or an email saying, I'd like a graduate. Or if you'd like to talk to me, the Hypnomom, or Glozell, please just send me a text or an email. And we have our next guest. Fantastic. Hi, welcome, Gus. Do you have a question for me or Glozell?
Yes. Hello. Hello. Great show.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
I have, you know me. I'm gonna keep it real. That's what I do. Glozell spaces.
Well, I can't hear you. That's why I'm like.
Nice and loud, Gus.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sure can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my question.
Okay.
We are right now. My mom used to have this saying that when a white person catches a cold, a black person gets pneumonia, and right now we're going through a really rough time. We've lost Kobe Bryant. We've had
we black people? Are we
the
saying
riots? No,
Okay.
I'm saying it's been particularly hard, and I think we are experiencing a form of PTSD as a group of people. You know, watching all the brutality going on, dealing with the pandemic, being some of the first ones that are laid off. And my question to Lisa is, how do you deal? And I know we're talking about children here, and we can shield a 3-year-old, and I'm not really worried about adult children. But I have friends that have children that are in middle school, and they're seeing this. And what's the advice you have for them, for kids that are like in elementary school age that are seeing things like this going on?
All right. The first thing we want to do is, as parents, the first thing we want to do is to understand our own trauma, our own post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's not really post-traumatic stress disorder, and let me tell you why. Post-traumatic stress disorder is confusing the danger of the past with the safety of the present. Gus, we have danger right now. We have danger right now. So what we want to do as parents is we want to release the emotional self, release the intellectual self, and come into our wise self and talk to our children about our experience, about the generations that came before us, and about how to, 1, keep safe, and 2, let our voices be heard. And these two things are not contradictory. And although there are no guarantees, for tomorrow is not promised, we want to talk to our children about how to optimize being safe and let their voices be heard. And in elementary school, it is what can they write and what can they post and who can they talk to and where is their support, and how to not be isolated and to be in community with their parents, their relatives, even if it's on a Zoom call or a FaceTime call, their friends, even though they can't see their friends, their teachers, their coaches. Because the worst thing that can happen is to descend into fear and isolation. And so as we make sure that our children are not isolated, that they are still communicating with the people who can nurture them and teach them wisdom, this is the way that we help people in middle school, which is a very unusual age, it's a very tough age, to thrive, to immerse as healthy adults. Glozell, did I answer your question, Gus, before I turn it over to Glozell? Yeah?
Gus? Gus? Oh, you can't hear us? You can't hear us.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Why don't we wait until we get Gus back? Irina, unmute yourself, sweetheart.
Hi.
Hi. Did you have a question for me and for Glozell?
Yes.
So we get Gus back?
Yes. Just want to say it's so nice being here with you two ladies.
Thank you.
And so refreshing. My first question is, I have 2 little ones. I have an almost 6-year-old and an almost 4-year-old. And what do you do? What do I do when I am constantly interrupted, literally every 30 seconds, all day, every day, and I'm trying to do work, and now it's like I mean, my threshold is just, with everything, what do I do?
I'll go first.
Okay, thank you.
Become aware that
Okay.
you're overloaded.
Okay.
And take that deep breath into your heart, like your heart has a nose, and have compassion for yourself that you got 2 little kids and a career that you're running. The next thing is that word trust. Trust when you're interrupted, you can go back and have that concentration to go back. It's called working memory, Irina. Working memory is the ability to be interrupted and to go back and complete what you had started. So we have a big trust on that word, that phrase, working memory. In other words, affirmation. I have a fantastic working memory. Let's all say it together. I have a fantastic working memory, which means when I'm interrupted, I can get right back to it. And so when you're having that time when your children are doing their academics and you're sitting at the table too, everybody has his or her headphones on, his or her headphones on, you, the kids, your man, you are going to get interrupted because that's their job, is to say, Mommy, I don't understand what a square root is. No, they're literal that. Mommy, I don't understand double-digit multiplication. Where do you put the 0 again? They're not going to know that because that's really complicated, all those orders of operation. So that 2 or 3 hours that they're doing their schoolwork, you have to expect you're going to be interrupted. Do you remember, Glozell, taking your daughter at 2.5 over to the CVS before the zombie apocalypse? You had to prepare that she was going to look and want to touch everything. Yeah. You prepared ahead of time. So you have to go in with a realistic expectation, Irina. Okay. When they're doing their schoolwork, you are going to be interrupted 36 billion times. And so you're prepared going in. And you're patient. You have a fantastic working memory. And then I give you permission to throw them on with Disney movies. I give you permission to give them the video games and say you can play as long as you're not going to kill each other. I give you permission to throw them onto a screen, but only for an hour and 15 minutes. And then you use, here I go, focused concentration to get your stuff done.
Okay.
And that's the best. If I could make it different, if I could use hypnosis so that they wouldn't interrupt you, I would. But the only way they're not going to interrupt you is when they're on with a brand new movie that they've never seen before. May I recommend Trolls and Wreck-It Ralph 2? Both starring Glozell.
Oh, yes.
And when you're watching a Glozell movie, then you're able to do your work with focused concentration, but really make time your friend. That's why I wear 5 billion watches. Time is your friend, focused concentration. But change that expectation. When they're doing their schoolwork, you are going to be interrupted. Your turn, Glozell.
To piggyback on that, definitely just know that, you know what, we signed up for it. Like, year after year after year, when I must tell Ozil to stop jumping on my head 1,000 times. It's like I'm saying, jump on my head, please. So there's times you have permission to go in your room and scream in your pillow and then come back to the situation. Because there's times you have to remove yourself. I thought Lisa was going to say, you have permission to throw your kids. I'm like, yeah. Oh, no, we can't do that. Step out the room, scream to the pillow and come back. You're like, I had to get that out because I don't understand how you don't understand that I'm trying to get my work done. But they're just not going to stop.
You know what, guys? Thank you.
Okay.
We are coming to the very end of our broadcast. We went an hour and a half today. And so I, again, would love to have my man, Trey, if you can throw up my email, Glozelle's email. Can people contact you through your email, Glozelle?
Yes, I would love for you to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all social media, Glozelle.
All right. And if you need to see anybody at no cost, need someone to talk to, if you need to see a graduate or you need to see Glozelle or me, contact Glozelle, contact me. And what we get, go ahead and get those graphics up on how to reach us. And is Gus still with us? If he wanted to ask, he asked his question to me. If he's there, we can put him back up. If not, we're going to just end with that graphic up. That is fantastic. I want to thank Katie, Irina, Gus, Trey,
Kathy, Deonzel, Cassie.
Yeah, and all, there we go, and all of our children. And I want to thank Trey Thomas, who made this broadcast possible, and Glozelle Green. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you'd like to contact Glozelle or me. We are available, and we want everyone to know that there's help available. You do not have to be isolated. You do not have to do this alone. There is a community out there to help you with your story and to help you with parenting during a time of a pandemic and unrest and uncertainty. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I hope you'll join us next time when we do more of the pandemic series. Glozelle?
I love you all. Thank you for coming into this wonderful arena, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Lisa. You've been amazing. Trey, you're amazing. Thank you for those who had questions that was answered and those who are leaving comments. Love you all. Follow us both on all social media.
Bye.